Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Bayan from the GMS New Orleans camp here to bring you a quick lesson. Prior to get started, I want to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect, Yuakim, Yuakwat, which is your brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. All right, and this lesson here is going to be, well, really I don't even have a title for it yet, to tell you the truth, but it's going to be on the basis of the law, statutes, and commandments, and the reasons behind it, and obviously it being for the conduct for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, and which is the true Israelites of the scriptures. All right, but again, one thing you have to know is that in this captivity that we're in, you can't hold the law, statutes, and commandments, fully. All right, but you could damn sure try. All right, you could damn sure try and put in effort, to do so. Okay, but one of the things that you definitely have to be doing in this grace period is building your faith and definitely doing the works that you can do. Okay, so just because you can't keep the law, statutes, commandments fully doesn't mean to not do it at all. All right, but again, it's a reason behind the law, statutes, commandments. All right, to separate us from the rest of the nations in the world, the heathen, and it makes sense. It makes sense. If you are a holy people, that means our customs and everything that we do should be separate. All right, if we are the people that's held dear to the to the Lord, the apple of the Lord's eye, we should carry ourselves in that manner. Okay, that kingly royal manner. Okay, but this is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 5. It says, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord Yahweh my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this is a great nation." So like I say, surely this is a great nation. This great nation is a wise and understanding people. All right. For what nation is there so great, who hath Yahweh Bashim Yahushai so nigh unto them, as the Lord Yahweh our power is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I have set before you this day? Okay, and again, that's for Israel. All right, the law, statutes, commandments was only given to Israel. Again, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, but it says in verse 6, "Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations." All right, we're held on a different standard when it comes to these other nations. All right, so again, carry yourself that way. And the Lord gave us the scriptures. He gave us the step-by-step, play-by-play booklet of what you need to do as an Israelite. All right, and obviously through history, our people went off and followed these other doctrines and other customs of different nations, and that's why we're in a position that we're in right now. Okay, but it's a reason. The law, statutes, commandments is not mentioned here in the scriptures for no reason. All right, but continuing on, this is the book of Amos chapter 3 and 1. It says, "Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities." All right. And the only way that you can truly have, iniquities is breaking the law. All right. Continually breaking the law. All right. But again, the law was only given to the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. But it says that of all the families of the earth, therefore, I will punish you for your iniquities. You, Salaki, Amos 3 and 2. It says, "You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities." Okay, so again, that's a separation that the Lord is saying right here of, you know, who he gave, you know, who he's giving his love to, who he's giving the law, statutes, commandments to, the only people that he's dealing with. All right, Israel. All right, and that's plain and simple, man. Like you can't get around this thing. But you know, this is just something that needs to be, you know, known. You know, it has to be. I mean, just for edification's sake. You know, for new watchers. You know, people that's just coming in and don't really understand. You know, this is some milk scriptures right here. You know, some basic scriptures that you should know of who the Lord is dealing with, and you know what is the reason behind the law, statutes, commandments. All right, and it's all for our benefits. Nothing that the Lord has ever done, you know, throughout the scriptures has been, you know, for us to fail. Okay, the Lord has from the beginning tried to put us in the best position for us to be over all of these nations. All right, but we've fallen so low for trying to be just like the other nations. All right, and that's it's sickening, man. You know, we was talking about that at camp the other day, that the Lord literally described the other nations as spittle. All right, and describes us as a peculiar people, which I'm about to try to get. I believe that's in First Peter. I'm gonna have to oh, boom, right here. First Peter chapter 2 verse 9. It says, but again, First Peter chapter 2 verse 9, it says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation. And the word holy goes into being separate. All right, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of the darkness into this marvelous light. All right, a peculiar people, man. And it's you know, it's shameful, but you know, we're all guilty of it. You know, before coming in the truth, Jake was living like a heathen, man. You know, doing what these what the devils, you know, put on TV, you know, for us to do, you know, which was to follow the 2/3, pretty much, all of the niggas and all of this fake glory and fame that they got. You know, everything that was advertised on TV and movies, that's what Jake wanted to be. All right, but again, that's still the mindset of a heathen, you know, and that's what you don't want to be. We're royal, man. So carry yourself as you royal. You know, carry yourself as a with a royalty mindset, you know. And this is what the law, statutes, commandments are for. Okay, so the last one I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna end it off with this. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. All right, because along with the law, statutes, commandments, which altogether I believe is 613, is not just the first 10 commandments, you know, that you need to abide. You know, is again, I believe is 613. I may be wrong, but I believe I'm right. But you know, all of these, some of these precepts that's in the scriptures is things that we need to abide by. All right, and it's nothing but wisdom that's in the scriptures, you know, and is reason behind it. Is for things to be well ordered. All right, and we're going to see it really executed in our kingdom, and that's why we're longing for it. Like this place, this captivity that we're in right now is completely out of order, because their laws that they have is weak, is bullshit, and it's ways around it. All right, and you know, these devils even let certain people get around their laws, even though they made it. All right, and that's not going to be the case, you know, in our kingdom. You know, whatever the law says, that's what it is, and we're gonna hold you heathen, you know, to that standard. All right, because the law, statutes, commandments is going to be in our inward parts, according to the book of Hebrews, chapter 8. You know, so we're never going to go off, but again, you heathen are going to go off, and that's the reason why we're going to be judges. You know, Lord willing, we're of that number. I'm of that number. Being judges and heirs to the throne, we're going to have to judge these other nations and get them in line. All right, which they're never going to be totally correct, but you know, that's going to be our role, and they're never going to be correct, because they're still going to have to be dealing with the flesh. All right, we're going to be in those holy bodies. All right, those new bodies that the Lord has promised us, you know, for the followers and the believers, you know. But verse 2 says, he will keep the saying of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. All right. You know, and that's, again, let me read 1 again, because it talks about the meditation, occupied in the meditation thereof. This is Sirach 30:1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. All right. So that's keeping your head in these scriptures, man. Keep your head in these law, statutes, commandments that the Lord has ordained for us. All right. So that's something that we got to keep in mind, and we got to keep our head, you know, in this book, man. You know, we need to, you know, keep our mind there, you know. But it says he will keep the saying of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. All right, because the scriptures are full with parables, you know, that bug some people out, and, you know, make some people not understand it. But that's the way that the Lord wanted it, man. You know, if the scriptures is for everybody to understand, I mean that they would, you know, the Lord is going to try to save everybody, and we know that's not the case. We know it's 2/3 of Israel that is ordained to die, and these heathen, they get fucked up as well. All right. But it says, verse 3, he will seek out the secrets of grave sentences, and be conversant in dark parables. All right. He should serve among great men, and appear before princes. He will travel through strange countries, for he had tried the good and the evil among men. All right. But I think that was the point. But, you know, just another reason, you know, to keep your head in these, keep your mind on these scriptures. All right. The wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our times. So if you want to have that stable mindset, you know, in this hellhole that we're living in, you know, and when things start to get even worse, you know, these scriptures are going to come to play in your mind. That's what's going to keep you at ease. And that's the reason behind these law, statutes, commandments that the Lord has ordained for us, you know, in these times, you know, that we're dealing with. All right. But I pray that this lesson was edifying, you know, straight to the point. Trying to get out of here, I want to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You Akim, you Akwad, with you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. And Shalom.